Crashes, crashes, and more crashes. Back-to-back first-time winners for the first time since 2007, and the most incredible race experience of my entire life. All today on The Fifth Turn. Alright, everybody. Hello, my name is CJ Ward, and welcome into The Fifth Turn. Wow, Daytona. A lot to talk about this weekend. It was craziness. Mother Nature just did not want to play along. I was actually at the track for most of the weekend. Had the incredible blessing of getting pit passes, or hot passes to the race, like I mentioned last week, from the Nemechek family. So I was at the Xfinity race Friday. I was at the track on Saturday. Couldn't be there on Sunday because I had to be back here for work. But yeah, it was just an incredible race weekend. I'll have a video coming out probably tomorrow, kind of recapping the weekend from my point of view, kind of being a compilation of all of the pictures, all of the videos, everything that I have from the weekend. So that'll be coming out probably tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. But I spent the whole race watching from John Hunter Nemechek's pit box at the 23 GMS box. So that was an incredible way to watch a race. To be there for pit stops was just unbelievable. We actually got to stand on pit road with the team by the car for the Prayer National Anthem, which was just one of the most incredible things that I've ever experienced in my entire life. It was unbelievable. Ross Chastain, who ended up winning the race, was doing his burnouts right in front of us, so we got a great angle of that. It was just unbelievable. But yeah, let's kind of recap the weekend. I guess the biggest thing that happened in the beginning of the weekend was the scuffle in final cup practice between William Byron and Brad Keselowski. Totally uncalled for, and I'm not saying that just because I'm a William Byron fan. I'm saying that I can understand intentionally dumping somebody if you're frustrated with them during a race, but in practice, you do not do that. You just don't do that. There's, like William said, so many better ways to handle that. If you think somebody threw a bad block, which William didn't, he didn't even change lanes, then discuss it with them other ways. Don't just dump them in practice and force them to go to a backup car. That was just uncalled for Brad Keselowski, and basically everyone, all the Twitter warriors, but even the guys in the broadcast booth were saying, "What in the heck was that?" So that was a big story to follow coming into the race weekend, knowing Brad Keselowski saying, "Look, I'm not going to lift." But yeah, so that was an interesting story to follow. But it was a rainy, wet weekend. I mean, it is just Florida, Central Florida in the summer, where it's just rain, and more rain. And that was the story all weekend. Again, I was there Friday and Saturday, and it was definitely wet, to say the least. Saturday was a lot worse than Friday was, but yeah, just very rainy. Not a pleasant experience when it was raining, but thankfully Friday it didn't last too long, and we were able to duck under a building and save ourselves from getting too soaked. But Saturday we had to bring our ponchos and brave the weather for sure. But yeah, let's talk about the Xfinity race. I'll save most of my own race experience for tomorrow's recap video. So again, keep an eye out for that. So in this video, excuse me, in this video, I'm going to focus primarily on just recapping the racing action the same way I do every other week. The fact that I was at this race won't. I'll try not to make it have that much of an impact on this particular video, and for a lot of my behind the scenes thoughts on the race, keep an eye out for tomorrow's video compilation that'll be coming out. But yeah, so let's talk about the race itself. I didn't get to see a lot of it, being that I was just just at the pit box. But the pit box did have a TV with the NBC broadcast on it, and also you had the big jumbotrons behind us so that we could kind of keep an eye on what was happening. I don't know, because one of the things that I want to point out is just how well colleague racing worked together. Because those three cars basically dominated the race, just absolute domination. Those three, Ross Chastain in the 16, Justin Haley in the 11, and AJ Allmendinger in the 10, just would not let off of each other. And those three were, they learned from Stewart-Haas Racing at Talladega last year. They learned from Hendrick Motorsports at Talladega earlier this year that, hey, if we're going to win this race, we've got to work together. And they were just incredible at that. And if they ever got separated, it wasn't long before they were all back together again. So just incredible teamwork there between the three colleague racing cars. They're actually going to plan to bring 4 colleague racing cars next time that we go to a restrictor plate track or a super speedway. The Cup Series doesn't use restrictor plates, but the Xfinity Series still do. But yeah, they're going to bring 4 cars is the plan next time we go to a super speedway. So yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Those 3 cars just worked so well together. Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell, 2 out of the big 3, they were really aggressive. They Christopher Bell just barely managed to escape the big one. Tyler Reddick actually caused a wreck a little later on in the race, just by getting loose and slamming into Chase Briscoe, who took a mega hit into the wall. But those 2 guys were really being aggressive, making the moves that they needed to try to get up front, and have a shot at winning the race. I'm shocked Christopher Bell got the finish that he did, with how far in the back he was running. I think he got a pit road penalty, and had to be in the back right around where the big one was. Just barely managed to escape it. You had a lot of really aggressive 3-wide racing. Every time they would go 3-wide into the corner, I bristled up because I didn't think it was ever going to work. And he did have a lot of crashes, a lot of big ones. The Reddick and Briscoe crash. You had the big one with triggered by Michael Annett and all that. John Hunter Nemechek and who was it? Whoever else was with him in that particular crash, I don't remember off the top of my head. Spinning through the grass, and the grass was soaked with all the rain that we had. It was crazy to see, and you'll be able to see it tomorrow in my recap video. I have a video of Ross Chastain doing his burnouts, and it was like every time somebody would spin through the grass, they would spin it, and you'd just see this huge splash of water come out from behind the car because the grass was so soaking wet after all the rain. And standing there in John Hunter Nemechek's pit stall, every time that he would come in for a pit stop, and that first incident where he spun through the grass, they kept having to pull wet grass out of the car, which is why some of those pit stops took so long. Just because the grass just got caked in there so much. But again, it was classic Daytona. A lot of wrecking, a lot of drafting, a lot of teamwork. Again, with colleague racing, they were basically the only people who worked together, and I was very surprised by that because, again, like we've seen in super speedway races very recently, the key to success is working together. And it seemed like everybody else except those 3 colleague racing cars were running solo and not really being willing to work with anybody else. And it was the three Kaulig Racing cars that ran away with it at the end. And in the end, the Melon Man has done it again. All he does is win. It seems like Ross Chastain wins at his home track in Florida, because he only is from a couple hours away from Daytona in the Fort Myers area, in Alva. So that was incredible for me to be able to see a Ross Chastain win and a watermelon smash in person. Was unbelievable. I got to meet him a couple of times throughout the course of the weekend. Was just incredible to see that in person. Kaulig Racing 1, 2, 3, sort of. They came 1, 2, 3 across the finish line. AJ Allmendinger's car actually got disqualified after the race with some engine issues. Couldn't hold the vacuum, and they DQ'd him. Kaulig Racing will not appeal the penalty. So, but the 16 and the 11 did finish 1, 2, and this is the first ever win for Kaulig Racing. I couldn't believe that. They've just steadily improved the past couple of years. They were with Blake Cook for so long, and he was always good on the super speedways, but he had a few good runs here and there. Then last season they put Ryan Truex in the 11 car, and he got first career top 5s for the teams, back-to-back top 10s for the team. A lot of firsts with Ryan Truex in the 11 car, and then they put Justin Haley in the car this year, and he's been running up front a lot. They put Ross Chastain, Elliott Sadler, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Dillon in this part-time second car that they're running, and they peaked this weekend and got their first career win. That is pretty dang cool for that team. But it was just an exciting, thrilling race all around. Again, a little disappointing for our GMS 23 guys. Just with John Hunter just being a victim of Daytona. With us being with his team, we wanted to see him get a slightly better finish than he did. But it was just victim of Daytona, wrong place, wrong time. Other people's messes he just kept getting caught up in. So let me run through the finishing order of the Xfinity Series race, the Circle K Firecracker 250 at Daytona. Ross Chastain takes the win, Justin Haley second, Christopher Bell third, Austin Cindric fourth, Stephen Light fifth in the JD Motorsports 01. Incredible run for him. Brandon Brown in the 86 finishes sixth, Jeff Green finishes seventh, Gray Galding eighth, Jeremy Clements ninth, Matt Mills in the BJ McLeod 5 finishes top 10. Vinnie Miller 11th. Stephen Parsons in the 99. First career Xfinity race. He ends up 12th. Ray Black Jr. 13th. Garrett Smithley 14th. Noah Gragson 15th. Tyler Reddick ends up 16th. Justin Allgaier 17th. 18th is Riley Herbst. 19th is Chris Cockrum. 20th is Timmy Hill. 21st Shane Lee. 22nd John Hunter Nemechek. 23rd Joe Graf Jr. 24th, Ryan Sieg. 25th, Michael Annett. 26th, Cole Custer. 27th, Chad Fincham. Josh Williams is 28th. Cesar Baccarella, 29th. Brandon Jones, 30th. Scott Lagacy Jr., 31st. David Starr, 32nd. BJ McLeod, 33rd. Sheldon Creed in the Junior Motorsports 8 this weekend. He ran 34th. Chase Briscoe, 35th. Joe Nemechek, 36th. Landon Castle, 37th. And AJ Allmendinger, 38th after the disqualification. So it was an exciting, crazy race. Took a little longer with all the rain to get it in, but we finally were able to race and get the whole race in. Great show for the fans. It was definitely a thrilling race, and I got quite the memento from this race. After the race, when the GMS guys were starting to put the stuff away and collapse the pit box, the tire changer actually gave me a set of lug nuts that were still piping hot when he put them in my hand. So I've got five lug nuts. I'm dropping them now. Five lug nuts. I can't even talk. 5 lug nuts from the 23 car, fresh off the tire. That was pretty incredible, but it didn't stop there. He actually gave me his race-used gloves, did the tire changer. So he said he's worn these for the past 5 or 6 races. So that is pretty cool for me to say that I've got those now. Really cool memento from the race. It was definitely a thrill to be there. But the race as a whole was pretty exciting as well. So yeah, quite the race in the Xfinity Series. But the stories did not stop just with Ross Chastain getting Kaulig Racing their first ever win. Moving on to the Cubs Series, where things got very interesting. Again, the story of the weekend was manufacturer teamwork. All of the Fords and all of the Chevys and all of the Toyotas, albeit only 6 of them, all of the manufacturers, they all worked together. Fords were all together, Chevys were all together, Toyotas were all together. A lot of 3-wide racing all day. Again, really intense. You knew that there was going to be rain in the area. The green flag was supposed to be at 1, which a lot of weather guys were saying this is when the rain's probably going to start. So we knew right away we may have been trying to race to stage 2. But we managed. I was shocked that we got as much racing in as we did. The other story of the day was going back to the Keselowski Byron thing. It was who else is who else is not going to lift throughout this race. It was definitely interesting because you had a lot of those moments of questionable blocks or whatever the case may be of people quote unquote not lifting with Kurt Busch and Ricky Stenhouse, with Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick and a lot of these guys. And that was kind of the funny thing to watch was the karma that came to Brad Keselowski there at the end, or I guess in the middle of the race when he got a bump from Kevin Harvick that sent him around and caused a big pile up. The place exploded when that happened. From what I heard, Brad Keselowski made a lot of enemies in the fan base this weekend for wrecking William Byron in practice, and so the whole place just erupted in applause when Keselowski crashed. And the word from William Byron on the team radio was, "Oh, that's too bad." Yeah, that was definitely fun to see. But the big story was the big one. The big one. At least 17 cars were in this big crash. Shortly after Kevin Harvick had a problem in the back of the pack. He had lost the draft already, and he had an issue. And then the leaders, which at the time were Austin Dillon and Clinton Boyer, there was some questions about whether Dillon tried to throw a block or if Boyer caused it. And when I look at it, and I'm in agreement with the broadcasters, it looked like what happened was, you remember last year in the Daytona 500 how Ricky Stenhouse kind of discovered this new trick where he could get to somebody's left rear and spin them out. And that was kind of what it looked like to me. The 14 got a run and bumped the 3 and then slid over and moved to the left rear just a little bit. And when he moved, it got the 3 loose and sent the 3 down back into the path of the 14. They made contact again, spun out the whole field. At least 17 cars in that thing. The running order was all jumbled up, trying to figure out who made it, who didn't, where is everybody going to cycle through to. The first 2 cars out of the wreck were Kurt Busch and William Byron. And you're thinking, okay, who's out front? I'm seeing Justin Haley in the Spire Motorsports 77, who never runs up front. I'm seeing his name at the top of the board. But I thought Kurt Busch was there. I thought William Byron was there. There was a lot of confusion about where everybody was running. They red flag it for the crash, and then they bring everybody down pit road because there's lightning in the area. And whenever there's lightning within 8 miles of the track, they go to an immediate 30-minute hold just to make sure that everybody's safe. There was a race a couple of years ago, I believe at Pocono, where a fan was actually killed by getting struck by lightning. So it's an important safety thing that we immediately stop all activity for a 30-minute hold if there's lightning in the area. And so we get all that cleared up. There was no rain. It was all around the track, but there was no rain hitting the track. And NASCAR gives the guys the all clear and the one to go. Kurt Busch and Matt McCall, who were the leaders, they had decided that if the race was called, that they were going to hope that the race got called and stay out to try to catch the end if NASCAR called the race. When NASCAR gave them the one to go, they knew that they had to pit. So they come in and pit, which leaves Justin Haley as the race leader. And then NASCAR says, wait, there's more lightning in the area, there's rain coming, let's stop. They didn't call it yet, but the Busch McCall pit call is definitely was called into question there, and it was just a miscommunication and a misunderstanding, thinking that because NASCAR did indeed give them the one to go, and they thought that they had every assumption that we were going to go back racing, and the fans are all getting antsy in this because you're like, okay, there's rain coming, there's lightning here. Are we going to call it? Are we going to wait it out? We've got all night. And it was just this repeated cycle of rain and then clear and then rain and then clear. In the end, NASCAR decided they gave it as long as they could. The bad weather was just too severe, and they eventually decided to call the race with Justin Haley and Spire Motorsports winning this thing. Now, I have to say, NASCAR fans, I cannot believe the negativity that I am seeing online about this victory. First of all, I don't care how you get it. A win is a win, and that team is going to take it any way they can get it, especially Justin Haley. 20-year-old Justin Haley, this is only his third career Cup start ever, but this just might be the greatest upset victory in NASCAR history. Not just because it's Justin Haley, but because it's Spire Motorsports, a team that has only been in existence for 18 races. This is their first ever season. They secured the Furniture Row charter after last year. This is a driver representation agency that has started a team. And there's been a lot of crap that they've been getting on Twitter about their business model. I would encourage everybody, go watch the press conference with the team owner, the crew chief, and Justin Haley after the race. Go watch it, because there's some discussions in that press conference about the business model of Spire Motorsports, and it became very clear a lot of what we've been hearing about how they do business over there and what they're even in this sport for is a load of hogwash and flat out lies. So, but you've got to see the story here and the value in this win. Spire Motorsports, brand new Spire Motorsports, who is fielded by Premium Motorsports. This is an underfunded, understaffed, low-level team that has now won a race in the NASCAR Cup Series. I mean, this year, before Stewart-Haas, before Chip Ganassi, it's unbelievable, the story here, and I cannot believe the negativity from NASCAR fans about this. This is, I mean, while I would have loved to have seen us race the last 30-something laps, this is everything that we say we want from a NASCAR race. Excitement, crashes, competitive racing, underdog winners. This is what we say we want. And if all of NASCAR is going to get on Twitter and say, well, I cannot believe this. This is the most undeserving. This is a fluke. Come on, people. You've got to be able to see that this is an unbelievable win. And this is an unbelievable story for NASCAR, for Justin Haley, for Spire Motorsports to try to get that program going. Just unfreaking believable. A win is a win, and I'm going to call out all you haters and say, Justin Haley and Spire Motorsports, congratulations on this win. This is unbelievable. I don't care if it's rain shortened. A win is a win. And here's the thing, too. We don't decide winners in NASCAR based on who's most deserving, even on who's been running up front all day. It's who can get in the right place at the right time, who can miss the carnage, and who can be out front when it most matters. Austin Dillon won the Daytona 500 2 years ago. He only led the last lap. That's it. And now when Justin Haley goes from 27th to first to win this thing, if Kyle Busch had done it, even in these circumstances, people would not be giving him the crap that they're giving Justin Haley. And it's a major source of redemption for Justin Haley too, because you think back to last year's Xfinity race here, when he technically wins and then gets penalized for going below the double yellow line, gets that win taken away, give it to Kyle Larson. This Friday, he intentionally runs second to teammate Ross Chastain because he said it was important to make sure that a Kaulig racing car won the race and that we finished 1, 2, 3. And I didn't want to screw up if I tried to make a move for the win, so I stayed in second. He got crap on Twitter for that. It's like, come on, people, what do you want the kid to do? Because you give him crap if he finishes second, and you give him crap if he wins. I don't know what these people want, but fans are so fickle about this, and I hate seeing so much negativity among the NASCAR world. This is one heck of a win for Justin Haley for Spire Motorsports. He's the third youngest winner in Cup Series history. It's an unbelievable story all around, and just freaking congratulations to Justin Haley and Spire Motorsports, because it was just, what a story. What a freaking story. Again, a win is a win. You were out front when the race was called. You win. You get the trophy. You get the money. They won. They won. As much as people on Twitter want to say, well, you have to put an asterisk next to his name. No, you don't. He won. He won this race. And this, everybody's acting like this is the first time this has happened. And it's not. Eric Almirola won this race in 2014 the same way, rain shortened. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s last win was a rain shortened race. I don't see anybody complaining about that because it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's like, come on, people. This was an incredible win, an incredible story for NASCAR, and it pains me to see everybody giving Justin Haley and Spire Motorsports so much crap about it, because it's one heck of a win. So congratulations to them again. Let me run through the finishing order. Justin Haley and Spire Motorsports take the victory. William Byron, a career best second place. Jimmy Johnson, another great run in third. Ty Dillon fourth. Ryan Newman fifth. Corey LaJoie sixth. Eric Almirola seventh. Matt DiBenedetto eighth. Matt Tifft, an incredible top 10 run for rookie contender Matt Tifft in the 36. Kurt Busch ends up 10th. Landon Castle 11th. J.J. Yaley 12th. Michael McDowell 13th. Kyle Busch 14th. Bubba Wallace 15th. This is where all the carnage was. Everybody this far and back didn't even finish this thing. Bubba Wallace 15th. Paul Menard 16th. Chris Buescher 17th. Daniel Hemrick 18th. Brendan Gaughan 19th. Kyle Larson 20th. Alex Bowman 21st. Martin Truex Jr. 22nd. 23rd. Eric Jones 24th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 25th, Joey Logano. 26th, Denny Hamlin. 27th, Joey Gase. 28th, BJ McLeod. 29th, Kevin Harvick. 30th, Ross Chastain. 31st, Parker Kligerman. 32nd, Ryan Preece. 33rd, Austin Dillon. 34th, Clint Boyer. 35th, Chase Elliott. 36th, Ryan Blaney. 37th, Quinn Houff. 38th, David Reagan. And 39th, Brad Keselowski. And 40th, Daniel Suarez. Just what a weekend. You gotta feel really happy for Kaulig Racing. It was the two teammates that won the two races this weekend, Ross Chastain and Justin Haley, and both of them are driving for Premium Spire Motorsports in the Cup Series. What a story! Again, that team has got to be feeling on top of the world. Spire Motorsports does, and I really wish NASCAR fans would kind of wake up and see. This is unbelievable. I know we didn't get the last 30 laps in, but what we saw was incredible. What we saw was incredible action, incredible racing, and I'm shocked that we even got as much racing in as we did, to be perfectly honest with you. But what a story for NASCAR this was. So happy for Justin Haley, so happy for Spire Motorsports, so happy for NASCAR, because this is one heck of a story. So, yeah, again, what a weekend at Daytona. A lot of stories to follow, underdog winners, a lot of feel-good stories from the weekend. And again, don't care if it's rain shortened. A win is a win, and Justin Haley and Spire Motorsports are the winners at Daytona. So that's going to do it for me for this video. Again, stay tuned tomorrow for my my weekend recap, kind of my video compilation of everything that I got to do and see, and all the people that I got to meet this weekend. I got about 20 selfies with drivers, crew chiefs, team owners, a lot of different people. So keep an eye out for that probably tomorrow. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for your support, for watching my videos. Yeah, so keep an eye out tomorrow for my my recap video. Yeah, that's going to do it for me. Take care, guys. See you later.